Hey, it's Patti Scharf, CPA and co-founder of Catching Clouds, the leader in e-commerce accounting. And today we're going to be answering a question. There was a question asked on our Facebook group, the Catching Clouds Academy for e-commerce sellers group. Somebody was asking, hey, what happens if I already have the Xero file set up? I've already got my chart of accounts and things are all kind of set up, but I want to use the e-commerce chart of accounts that's included in the Accounting for Amazon or Accounting for Shopify course that we have. You can get information for both of those down below. What if I want to use that chart of accounts? What's it going to do if I import it into my file? And I wasn't entirely sure. So let's go find out. All right, so that's what we're doing today. Let's go into settings and we're going to go to chart of accounts. If you don't see it here, you can go to general settings and it'll give you the list of all the reports. So you go to chart of accounts. And this gives you a list of all of the accounts that are being used in your accounting file. All we do is we go and we export that, and it will create a CSV file with a listing of all of this information. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go in and make changes in the CSV file to a bunch of different things, just so that we can see what happens, okay? The fields that are required is anything with an asterisk, so code, account name, type, tax code, okay? Now, let's see. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change some of these account codes just to see what kind of happens to that. I'm going to use 5 digits so that we can see what changes were made. And then let's change the checking account to a current asset and just kind of see what happens, okay? So I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen. And then for the savings account, we'll call that Chase Savings Account. Let's try deleting a couple of accounts. I know that the historical adjustment is a required account in Xero, so if we delete it, I'm curious to see what happens with that. Let's see what else. For, let's say, advertising, let's try deleting that because that's not a required one. Actually, instead of changing that or deleting it, let's just change that to promotional and see what happens there. And let's delete this one instead, 604. So bank charges is going away. And let's add another one, just called some random account. Okay, we'll have the same settings as this one. And let's see. And that's pretty much all I can think of. So let's save this file. We're going to go back to Xero and we're going to import that. All right, you do not want to select yes for importing account balances. This is not the way you want to make changes in your file. You would only use this if you're starting with a brand new file and you're setting your conversion date, blah, blah, blah. That's beyond the scope of this video. If you're just changing names and account numbers and descriptions, then just say no. And then go find your file and import it. All right, now let's go see what happened. It'll give you kind of a summary of everything that went on. I think this, because it's a demo company and it's got other stuff going on in the background, it's got extra stuff in here that is beyond the scope of what we just did. So I'm just going to click confirm and see what actually changed, okay? All right, so I think it was the checking account that we actually changed to be a current asset. So I'm going to keep this as a bank account. And I'm curious to see what happens here. Hit save. Okay, so it duplicated the bank accounts. That's fine by me. If I didn't like that, probably I would just go in here and directly change the account code and the name instead of trying to import new information. It just makes it too messy, I think. So I wouldn't do that with the bank stuff. Let's go look at the historical adjustment. Remember, I deleted that one, but it stayed there. It's locked, so that's probably why it didn't get rid of it. And then we went down to, let's see, advertising. It changed the name. And we got rid of bank account, like the bank charges. I don't see that here. And I added this random account and it's in there. But everything else looks like it didn't mess with it. Let's go over to archive. And it got rid of advertising and it got rid of bank charges. So see how there are amounts here? Again, you might want to just go right into these accounts if you want to change them. Well, this one we deleted it. So what this is telling you is that there are transactions that were coded to bank charges and they are still coded to bank charges. So you didn't mess anything up, but this account is no longer going to be able to be used for coding your transactions. Okay, you're going to have to pick a different account. Same thing I think with advertising. I think that's what's going on here. Okay, but then you've got new accounts that basically replace them. Okay. All right, and I think that's it. So I hope that helped, and if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below, and maybe I'll do another video follow-up on this one. But I hope that helped, and if you like this video, please like, comment, share. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and I'll catch you later.